October, what is it, 21st, if you join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome to all. Thank you for being here. We need to start with a roll call. Ms. Harris, will you help us with that?
Everyone is present, so we do have one.
Excellent. Thank you. We have an agenda before us. Anything we need to discuss regarding the agenda before we move forward? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Lind with the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Okay, go ahead, Henry.
Mr. Schmidt will hit seconding. I'll have to change my writing here. Schmidt seconding. Any discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Are there any opposed? We have an agenda. We have the City Council minutes for October 7. Any concerns regarding those minutes? If not, we will acknowledge those as they've been presented to us, and we'll go on to the bills. I have a warrant register with today's date on it. Questions?
Is Damon here? I guess he's gone.
Damon is excused tonight, I'm sorry.
That big BH, is that for the transmission line?
I'm sure.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, that is. Damon asked if he could be excused. He's got a son playing sports game tonight. So
That's way more fun than being here.
be there. But yes, I think that's what that is. Is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Mr. Perks, the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Sellers, seconded. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That takes care of the bills. Council comments. Mr. Schmidt, what's on your mind tonight, sir?
Not a thing, Your Honor, thank you.
Thing. I don't know if I believe that.
Well, there's a lot going on, but it's... Thank
There's
you.
a lot going on up there?
There's too much going on up there for me to remember much.
Excellent. Mr. Lind.
I got about three things. I wanted to commend Ms. Larson for the great job she's done with getting all the advertising out to the community about the penny tax. I think she's probably had to deal with some trolls, and I commend her for dealing with that. Myself, I'm a conservative, fiscally conservative, moderate Republican, so I don't like tax. But, I don't like the way they spend our federal tax or our state tax, but I think this penny tax, we're going to be able to see if it's passed with our own eyes where that money goes and what it does. And I think it's got everything lined out for our community, a lot of really great things that we want to get done. So you have the opportunity to vote no, and I understand why you'd vote no, and you have the opportunity to vote yes, and I understand why you'd vote yes. But get out and vote, because if you don't go vote, you can't complain about it. So get your vote out there. Second thing I want to address Mr. Harris's comments about me in the last city council meeting. I have never knowingly or on purpose or ever intend to violate the Wyoming Open Meetings Act. The accusations of doing it twice, I don't appreciate. I didn't appreciate him interrupting me in the last work session when I was trying to chair the meeting while Mr. Williams was gone. And I think we have a lot of breakdown in communication that we could probably do a lot better job of and improving on. Third thing I want to address is our work session. We were planned to have a work session last week, or planned, not planned. That'd be part of our communication too. I believe we should go about asking anyone on this council if they have anything for the work session. I think we should ask if we could possibly have a quorum, and I think we should ask if we have either the mayor or the council president to go ahead and chair that meeting. I don't like when they're just canceled based upon certain people not being able to attend. I think we should go about things properly. I looked at other communities, and they do a hell of a lot better job communicating, and I think we could do a lot better job as well. So that's what I've got. Thanks.
Mr. Perkins.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Lind. I think everybody should get out and vote, yes or no, up or down. This is a community decision. I watched the internet and social media, and it seems like the city council and the members get a lot of blame for this, but this is up to the citizens to decide. And I agree with Mr. Lind. I hope they'd get out and vote one way or another. Other than that, I haven't been in town. I've been on a hunting vacation, so I don't have anything tonight.
Okay. Mr. Welling.
I have nothing tonight, Your Honor.
So I'm just going to echo the other two. Top of my list was, this is our last regular meeting before the election, and get out and vote. I think it's important that no matter what our thoughts are, that we need to vote. I think it's important. That's what makes our country great. And then it's becoming holiday season. It's that time of year I go into the stores, and our stores are really kind of empty. Support our local merchants. I saw the Pie Hole had their sign up, order your holiday pies early, get things going. So people are starting to market. When we choose to shop outside of Evanston, we only hurt ourselves. I know there's some things you can't get out, you have to go outside to get, but if you can get it here, give our local merchants a shot. You sometimes will be surprised what they can do. And on that note, on the news today, and this is to be mindful of what our neighbors and our friends are going through. There's a lot of people struggling. Right now in America, there's 3 million cars in the process of being repossessed. We got 25% of our citizens who have debt, and credit card debt especially, that they can't afford and pay. So be mindful of a lot of people struggling. It's just domestic violence month this month, and the biggest fights in families are over money. A lot of heartache and stuff happens with money. So be mindful of what's going on. Be that person. Help them get. If people are struggling, help them get to people that can help. There's people in our community that can help with finances. There's people in our community that can help with addictions. There's people in our community that can help with other mental health struggles. So please be mindful and watch out. Thank you.
Ms. Hegeman.
A lot of echoing of what was said prior. The most important thing you can do, or we can do, is to vote. That is the most precious right we have as citizens, and up or down, no or yes on the penny tax, let your voice be heard. It is a community, and that is how it is voiced for the majority. And so if you don't have time, make time, because there is nothing more sacred in this nation than our right to vote. The other thing was, as elected officials, it is our duty to protect the public's right to speak, and I will continue to advocate for open, lawful, and accountable government. Transparency isn't a threat, it is the foundation of our democratic republic. And other than that, go air assault, 101st Airborne, go boys!
Well, thank you. I don't have too much to add, although I'll echo the sentiment regarding the vote. Whatever your feelings are there, express those, and I encourage you to all do that. I hope everybody had a successful hunting season. I know I did. I didn't shoot a thing, but I had fun. So then it was a success, and I appreciate everybody's indulgence while I was gone for that time. So we will move on. We do have a swearing-in ceremony. These are always fun and special, and I appreciate the opportunity. That's a pink badge. Do you know they saddled you with a pink badge?
Mr. Mayor?
I just wanted to make sure. Go ahead, Chief.
Yes, sir. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's a show of our support. I also don't have ones. These are the Velcro ones, and they're best ever, so.
Nice.
But it's for a good cause. I would like to introduce Officer Hunter Jensen to you. He's our newest addition to our force. We're excited to have him. He's done a mission in Chile, and he's fluent in Spanish, and we've already used that. So I do know he was honest about his ability to speak Spanish and back for that, and I'm just requesting you can swear him in.
I would love to.
I just feel like we should clap.
It's a
That's what we're supposed to do, right?
That can be a tough career, so I'm glad he's joined on.
Thank you, Chief. I think I have said this on nearly every swearing in, and I will say it again, and I will say it until I no longer say it at all. I appreciate the opportunity of swearing these officers in. I don't take that lightly. I recognize the commitment that each one makes to our community, and that is to be respected. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that. So thank you, Chief. We will go on to our consent agenda. We got a couple of street closure permits. Looks like they're annual things, have been going on for some time. Is there any concern with addressing those all together? I will entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Mr. Welling, is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Kurt seconding. Any discussion?
You gonna hit up Hunter's Windows night?
What's that?
You gonna hit up Hunter's Windows night?
I didn't. I mean, I guess my wife could have.
Still can.
I still can. I think she just looks forward to me. I don't know if she considers herself a widow so much as just enjoys the reprieve. But at any rate, if there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That approves our consent agenda. We have no unfinished business, and we'll go now to new business, and we'll discuss a letter of support for Wyoming Downs LLC. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mayor. The mayor's office was contacted by a representative of Wyoming Downs LLC about the possibility of a letter of support for a proposed project within the corporate limits of our community. The mayor referred them to me. This is the request from Wyoming Downs LLC. We brought it before the council for approval like we did on similar occasions with other type of proposed projects.
Thank you, sir. I think this is an interesting project. I know when they first approached me, I wondered, how do we need to address this in relation to the current project of similar type that is under construction currently. I've looked into that a little bit. Obviously, competition isn't a bad thing, but the powers that be behind the current project under construction are all in favor of this as well. I think maybe everybody has talked to a point or another with representatives of Wyoming Downs. What's your pleasure? I'll entertain any discussion, I guess. Any concerns, questions, comments? What?
As for your competition comment, I think competition is good, and we're not a body that I think should be in the job of limiting that or controlling that. That's free market, free business. I wish them both the best. I hope they're both extremely successful. I'm excited. I can't wait for both projects to be done. I think it'd be great.
I just have one question, Your Honor. I'm obviously in support also of, business coming into our community, but I thought I read somewhere where there may be a conflict within a 3-mile radius or something of
I think you're right, and I think we're taking, and that's something that the county commission, correct me if I'm, Mr. Harris, I think that's in some of the county commission resolution that they had, and I think they're taking steps to correct that issue.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Smith, I agree. I think that is an issue with the county commission and the gaming commission as well.
Okay.
Can you clarify the 3 miles?
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. I think what Councilor Schmidt, Mr. Mayor, is referring to is that it's actually, there's a couple of rules. One of them is the 100-mile rule, and it has to do with licensing a HHR, historic horse racing venue, within so many miles of a track, is my understanding. Now, currently, permits for these type of operations are issued by the Gaming Commission and county commissioners. There is legislation under consideration to authorize local governments, cities and towns, this permit granting authority for properties within the corporate limits. But there's this jurisdictional issue about licensing multiple facilities within 100 miles. That's also under discussion. But my understanding was, and we can hear more from Wyoming Downs, but that issue has been vetted with Wyoming Horse Racing and Gateway West, the other potential holders. But that's just my understanding. But it has to do with how many facilities can be located within a certain radius of each other.
Sir, I see you stand up there. I recognize who you are. I'm glad you're here. Introduce yourselves and tell us what's on your mind.
My name is Brent Rhodes. I'm a representative of Wyoming Downs, Mayor and Council. I've had the opportunity to speak to, I believe, every single one of you, and if not me, someone from our team, to address kind of what we were just talking about.
We don't want to miss a word.
Well, I speak fast, so I apologize. Tell me to slow down. To address a little bit of that, interestingly enough, Wyoming Downs had a resolution with the county a while back, quite a while back, that had this 3-mile language about perhaps not having another OTB opened within 3 miles of ours. That's archaic language, and that's not how the industry's worked, and it's not been how we've moved forward with business in any jurisdiction. And it was actually something that was completely forgotten about, as far as I understand, with basically all the operators and the county until more recent talks with these bigger OTBs on the border. And so that resolution has been dealt with, where I believe it was in fact at the last county commissioner hearing revoked, so that's no longer an issue. The 100-mile rule that we were talking about is pursuant to the current statutory scheme. The way it's set up right now in Wyoming is that if you have a track, while that track is racing, the interpretation from the AG's office has been, while there are live races occurring at your track, any OTB within 100 miles cannot operate. That's another archaic rule that none of the operators have really been complying by, because we actually have waivers with each other. It doesn't make a lot of sense, in our opinion, to shut down other operations when we have our track. And there's only 3 tracks right now in the state of Wyoming anyways, Sweetwater here in Evanston and in Gillette. So it's, we're Wyoming. There aren't any cities more than 100 miles away from these tracks anyways. So effectively, the way the statute's written is that, we would effectively close down all of our competitors in every city that has a racetrack. The local control bill that's before the legislature that we support tried to accomplish basically 2 things. The first thing was to get rid of the 100-mile rule. And the second thing was to basically give city councils and local authorities more authority with these OTBs. It's our position and most of the other operators' position that, we first have to go to the county to get permission to have gaming in your county, and then we have to go to the county to get permission to have gaming at a certain location. Even if that location is inside of your city, it's still a county per statute that gives us the authority to do that. Once we have the county authority on both those levels, we have to go to the Gaming Commission to get a license. Technically, the way the Wyoming statutes are written right now, we can run our OTB and have our OTB inside a city without talking to the city at all. The only 2 caveats would be our liquor license and if we run into any zoning issues. I think everyone agrees that that makes no sense. But for whatever reason, there's a lot of opposition to that, and we're having a hard time getting that bill passed. And so that, ironically enough, leads me to why we're here today. The Gaming Commission has effectively decided that they would like to see a letter in support from the local municipality anytime we're going to open a new OTB, particularly these larger border OTBs. And that's what's before you today. It's really just a way for us, the operator, to go to the Gaming Commission and let the Gaming Commission know that there's not a lot of opposition to what it is we're trying to do in the locality.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions? Go ahead, Mr. Sellers.
So mine's different. We talked about it a little bit. My concern is the traffic on that road, because it will affect me personally a lot, the traffic. And then number 2, after you sent the pictures and stuff, I looked at it, and I'm concerned about how bright it's going to be, because I got bedrooms that face that of people who live in those bedrooms, and I'm concerned about big signs and light, and I have a couple old veterans that would be, I would never not hear the end of it. So those are my concerns, because I have some areas that it could affect me personally. So I know you're doing the traffic study, which I'm grateful for. I can see eventually we probably have to reinstitute the 1 light at the top and probably add another light down there to accommodate. But with that said, I'm just the lighting. I know that all needs to go through planning and zoning, and I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit on it, but I'm just trying to throw out I'm not opposed to what you're doing. I just I have my concerns too.
Sure, and I've had a really good conversation with Councilwoman Hagman as well about a number of concerns and some stuff to keep in mind. And we've had OTBs in every city that's allowed it, every county that's allowed it, and we're building a substantially similar project in South Cheyenne right now on I-25. And our position has been and will always be that we're wide open to suggestions, comments, and concerns. Just about anything with signs, traffic, zoning, liquor license, that'll all be handled. Well, we actually have already submitted our zoning application, and I believe we'll be working through that. So I don't have any reason to think that we wouldn't be able to take care of any of those concerns in that. But as I said to you when you and I talked on the phone, if ever there's any issues like that or something that comes up, please call us. We're the operator that has a racetrack here in town, and ironically enough, we've had that racetrack longer than I've been alive. So if ever there was a community that we cared to listen to, it's certainly this one. We're the only operator here with a racetrack. So that's a very long-winded and political way of saying I hear you, and I will make sure that we try to take care of that.
You're making me feel old, though. I remember when it was built.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Kind of hurts. Any other questions before we move on with this?
Yeah,
Go ahead, please.
Excuse me. Just like what we talked about on the floor, on the phone, if there's any chance to liaise with our Main Street businesses, that would be hugely beneficial whenever possible. And I agree with what Councilmember Lynn said. Statistically, competitive businesses benefit each other, the patrons, and the community that they exist in. And because of having two gaming facilities so close and new to our community, I think it would be beneficial to answer questions to the community, to the public, by adding a public benefit statement with a tourism and economic value to answer questions that they will have. This is their town. We just sit up here for a short amount of time. And I think that would be wildly received, so they can know how it will benefit them, instead of us just making a closed statement showing them how the expected tourism and economic value will help.
Sure.
Especially in these tough times.
Yeah, are you referring to in the letter, or are you referring to just a public statement in general?
Just a public statement, or maybe something we can attach.
Sure, yeah, we can work on that. I can talk to my folks about that. You know, as far as the public benefits, the obvious one is the tax dollars that you all will receive, and usually that's what most people are interested in. Conservatively, we've estimated that this one should bring about $2 to $2.5 million to Evanston on an annual basis, with construction being completed in 2027. I say conservatively because for whatever reason, our industry seems to be growing significantly every year, and our racetrack here in Evanston has actually become more popular every year. So I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to circle back and say a much larger number when we have the actual numbers. But to avoid having to eat crow, we'll stick to the conservative number. And so that would be my immediate response to that. But certainly I hear you, and I can talk to my folks about running some sort of either a public statement in your newspaper or maybe a rider to this with the Gaming Commission.
Well, it makes especially now when we're all voting for a penny tax on a $40 million tax, they can see where it's not an endless, this is something that can benefit, and then they can make the decisions.
Certainly, and you and I talked about the workforce specifically, and so did Councilmember Welling and I. And you know, we're obviously aware that that may be an issue here in Evanston, and an issue that we're willing to take on, and we're confident we can. But that's the other main public benefit. Not only are we going to help quite a bit with some of your tax dollars, but you know, we employ a lot of folks. And you know, maybe the initial workforce to build the thing won't necessarily be here in Evanston, but it's certainly going to be your folks helping us run and operate it. So it's going to be a pretty big community investment in general, just from the workforce alone. So,
Great.
Thank you.
Anything you can do to engage the community would be great.
yeah, I hear you. As a Wyomingite, I appreciate that sentiment too.
Just to go on record, I'm all for this. The letter, I know we got a lot of wrinkles in the future we got to get ironed out, all the way from the state down through the county and even the city zoning. But this letter's a good start, and I just want to go on record to saying I fully support it.
Excellent. Well, if there are no other questions, Mayor?
Well, if there are none, I'll just say let's move forward. I guess we need a motion on this. So is there a motion to approve or adopt this letter of support?
I'll make a motion to approve a letter of support, Your Honor.
I'll second.
Zeller seconding. Discussion.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Council.
There's no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Thanks, sir. Well, Resolution 2566. Mr. Harris, will read that title for us, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2566 is a resolution of the City of Evanston, Wyoming, authorizing the execution and delivery of a release of lien, releasing a special assessment lien for property generally described as 280 Greek Court in Evanston, Wyoming, as herein more particularly described and provided. And Mr. Mayor, there is a technical correction. The proper address, according to the Postal Service and our maps, is 280 Greek Court, and you'll see I put in a resolution 2 times I used 280 Greek Street.
Okay.
It should be 280 Greek Court, and that correction will be made in 2 places there.
Okay.
That's my error. I just want it to be consistent. So, Mayor and Council, this request came from the current owner of 280 Greek Court, which is described in the resolution. As the resolution indicates, in 2018, the city of Evanston, Wyoming, recorded a special assessment, levying an assessment for nuisance abatement against 280 Greek Court and 203 Greek Court, 2 separate parcels of property right off of Greek Court in North Evanston, for a nuisance abatement. That amount that was ordered by the municipal court in a nuisance proceeding was $25,771.08 that was incurred by the city to abate the nuisance on those 2 properties. The ownership of 280 Greek Court was at that time in a Mr. Nichols. That property now is owned by his ex-spouse, Tamara Nathel Brooks, and she has an opportunity to market 280 Greek Court property and has approached the city and about releasing the lien on 280 Greek Court, with the lien remaining on 203 Greek Court. So this resolution authorizes the mayor and city clerk to execute a lien release or release of lien upon payment to the city of $6,000 for release of the assessment on 280 Greek Court. That is approximately 24% of the total value of the lien claim, and that property at 280 Greek Court bears the 24% of the total property subject to the assessment. That's how we came up with the suggestion.
So the balance, make sure I understand this right, the balance of that lien would remain on the other property?
That is correct, Mr. Mayor.
And so we're just considering the removal or the resolution of that lien with regard to the 280, and the balance would remain on the 230. The reason I say that, I remember when this lien was placed on the property. I know that the Public Works folks went to a fairly extensive effort to clean the property. I know that there was a significant expense involved, and obviously that was incurred by the city, and there's no way that we can recoup that without this lien. And so I'm not inclined to just remove it without some benefit back to the city, because in essence the community, everybody in the community paid for that at the time, and the only way to get that back is this lien. But if the lien remains on the other property, then I'm okay with that. We'll get that at some point.
And that's what is accomplished by this resolution, Mayor.
Excellent.
So
I'm very, very glad that you pointed that out. I was going to vote against this resolution because I thought we were just going to lose $19,000 of the citizens' money, and I was against that. But if that lien stays with that other property, I have no problem with it then, because we're not losing money at this point. So thank you for clarifying.
So is that property cleaned
Go
up?
ahead, Mr. Sellers. Go ahead.
Sorry. Is that property being cleaned up? I mean, I haven't been down there.
Yes, and
No.
it's kind of heading toward potential nuisance territory again.
Yeah.
Just I'm being honest with you.
It is what it is.
We're releasing
There was
6,400.
There was a lot of work back in whatever date it was, 18?
Yeah, late 2017. I have,
There was,
Mr. Mayor, I have, Councilman Sellers, I have the resolution, it's 1802, and attached to that is a breakdown of the Department of Public Works. Just to give you an example, 77.47 tons, 68 tires, 12 refrigerators,
Junkyard.
3 dump trucks, 21 hours each, a 721B loader, an 821B loader, a backhoe, a compact loader, and then you had security from the Evanston Police Department, Lieutenant Pearson, and then Chief Kirby were added to that. So it was a big effort.
I remember that.
I remember what I was on, and I went down and looked at it before and then after, and so I'm with Councilman Berg. I just want to make sure that we're staying whole on this, so, because I know what a mess it was.
Yeah, and Mr. Mayor, we should reach out and express appreciation for the owner, Ms. Brooks, to come in and initiate the conversation.
Yep, point well taken. That's excellent, so.
Your Honor, I just have one.
Please go ahead.
I didn't understand what this, he explained what, I guess it was quite a mess. I'm not familiar with the property, but the only question I have is how was this negotiated to, I mean, the owner came in and asked to negotiate this?
Mr. Mayor, Councilor, if I understand your question, yes, the amount of the special assessment was set in 2018 by resolution of this council. And that was the figure that's stated in the resolution. So that was set. Ms. Brooks then acquired the 280 Greek Court property, and she was looking at potentially selling that property. And in the course of looking at that sale, there was a title report done, and it showed that that property was subject to the city's lien for that. So upon realizing that, she came in and asked what her options were. I think we had asked Mr. Robinson to the meeting. The chief and I attended the meeting with her and her realtor, and we explained what the process was, and talked about, she said, well, how can I get it released for my property? We sat down and said, well, your property is 24% of the total. We took the total amount of the assessed lien and apportioned 24% and came up with $6,000. So that seemed like a fair and equitable way to do that. So the remainder of the lien is on 280 Greek Court, the property next door.
Thank you.
That answer your question?
Yes, sir.
So she paid her portion, then she has paid her portion then of that, the 24%?
She will pay that.
That'll take
and then
out of the sale.
We will wait till receipt of the funds
And then
before we deliver a lien.
Yeah, that's what my question, I guess, is we won't release it until we receive that 24% from her. Correct?
Mr. Mayor, Councilor, that is correct.
Absolutely.
So did we just round it? Because 24% is 6,185.
Yeah, we
Just rounded it. Okay.
Is there an introduction on this resolution?
I had some other
Oh, I'm
questions.
sorry.
Oh, no. So 156427 allows settlements only when justified in the public interest. But the resolution and what we're talking about right now is because we didn't have, meaning us, in the resolution, the negotiated numbers. We had no background to go off to make a vote, to do any research on something like this. So because the resolution lacks findings, it's risking claims of arbitrary debt forgiveness. And so if we can have in our resolutions to follow the statistics and numbers that we need to make a good decision, as well as those are, since we're voting in the public's interest, the public also needs to know how things are negotiated, not just said here and we make a yay or nay. And also, there's a conflict of interest with Mr. and Mrs. Harris on this as we are doing this monetary and Ms. Harris attested to the lien documents, and Mr. Harris prepared them, and under WS 913-106A and Evanston Code 214, this creates an appearance of conflict. And even if no personal gain occurred, the joint handling of a discretionary settlement violates Wyoming's ethics statutes. So best practice, if we could have a stand-in, such as an alternate clerk or somebody else sign that paperwork for the city on this. So a test by a non-related officer. It goes back to the issues that small towns run into when we have government officials that are in the same family.
I don't understand anything that you're talking about there. But I do know that this is in my area, and at the time that we put this lien on, it was a total disaster. I was getting complaints from a lot of the neighbors down there on the A and B streets around the river, the amount of raccoons and stray animals and everything that this property was attracting. I have not been hearing that lately, well, for the last few years. So I think it must have gotten better for a while. If it's getting worse again, that kind of bothers me, because I don't want the city to have to incur, because with today's money, it would be a whole lot more than 25 grand. It would, so it might supersede the amount of money that property's even worth. And back there tucked in that little cove, that would be a nice piece of property if it was kept clean. It's nice and quiet and down by the river, but I just don't want the city to lose money on this.
I will say that the original resolution that put this lien in place back, I was involved in that, and I know full well how that came about and the work that went into it. I can tell you there was nothing nefarious or inappropriate about any of it, and I kind of resent the implication that there would be city employees that have a way to gain from this. I don't know exactly what you said in all of that, but I don't agree with one single word of it. And I think that this is an appropriate thing to do. And with that, I'll entertain an introduction on this resolution.
I'll introduce the motion to pass.
Mr. Williams?
I'll second.
Mr. Sellers seconding. Any discussion?
The only thing that worries me is the rounding. So say we have a situation where we're talking about $1 million, and if we set the precedent to round that number, we could possibly be talking about thousands of dollars of difference. So if we're going to set a precedent on the 24%, I know we're talking like $185 or something, but if we're going to do the math, I think we do the math to the exact number. Because if we have a situation where we're talking about $1 million and we're going 24%, you're talking thousands of dollars of difference, not hundreds of dollars of difference. So if I was to just look at the resolution, I would say don't round the number to 6,000, do the actual 24%.
I hear what you're saying.
And I think what Ms. Hegeman was trying to say was, or said well, or whatever, but just in future, looking at resolutions, if you see a husband and wife being a part of the paperwork making, future councils, future mayors could see that as a possible situation, whether it's a situation or not a situation. They're just looking into the future, I think, is what she was trying to say about having husband and wife signers and creators of paperwork. If that helps further explain what I think she was trying to explain. Whether I'm not saying I agree or disagree, I'm trying to help further explain it.
It was strictly procedural. You nailed it, Councilmember Lind. It had no direction but to comply with the statutes and just be procedurally accurate for the record. That's it.
I believe that any time the city considers placing a lien for any reason on anything or piece of property, each one will be evaluated on its own particular merits as far as value is concerned. This particular lien was placed dollar-wise, placed on input from our public works folks and our police department. I see what you're saying, but at the same time, the application or the removal of a lien would be subject to the approval of the city council at the start and at the finish. And so I think this is an appropriate thing to move forward with. I don't see. I appreciate the willingness or the concern about being exact. I recognize that, but it will be up to a future city council to place a lien or to remove a lien on any particular property. So arbitraries are maybe they're valid, maybe they're not. I guess that would be subject to opinion. But any further discussion?
So if somebody has a similar situation and comes, I know I'm nitpicking, but if somebody has a similar situation and they say, hey, they come to negotiate and say, hey, you set the precedent with this, you rounded that number down. I don't know. I know I'm nitpicking, but
Mr. Mayor, if I can respond to that.
Please, go ahead.
It is rounded down, but remember, there is 76% of the lien remaining, and it's for the full amount of the lien difference, $25,771.08. So that amount's going to get paid.
You're correct.
And-
you are right when you say that. Okay.
Each particular release of lien has to be looked at on an individual basis. There may be some where in the future we had a $25,771 lien and the property is absolutely worthless, and somebody comes in and says, oh, we'll offer you $5,000. That has to be judged on each particular facts. And we do have to comply with the Constitution and make sure we get fair consideration, because we cannot give credit to a private individual, including corporations. So $6,000 is fair consideration. The remainder of the lien is still there in the full value, and it will be recovered someday on the proper disposition.
And I was just saying, to what Mr. Evans said, I don't want us to lose the money, but what you just said made sense. The rest of the remaining is still going to sit there, so we're not losing any money, whether it be $180 or whatever. We're not losing any of that total number. So I'm fine with that. Thank you, Mr. Harris. That clarified.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? If there is none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? That is approved. We'll go to Resolution 2567. Mr. Harris, read that title for us, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Resolution 2567 is a resolution of the City of Evanston, Wyoming, declaring the Cincinnati Fan Model LM4B X1 euthanasia gas chamber at the City of Evanston Animal Shelter excess property and authorizing disassembly and scrapping of the property by the Evanston Police Department.
Thanks, sir. Chief Ranish, please.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, members of the council. This is an administrative decision by the Evanston Police Department. The equipment we're talking about is showing its age. City records indicate we've had it since 2012, but talking to other former employees, we've had it since the building's been there. I know it's been repaired before. The gasket on the door has gone out. We can no longer source parts for that machine, and as far as I know, we cannot no longer buy such a machine. Apparently, they're only legal in 2 states, Wyoming, Missouri, and there's been more continued pressure in the state of Wyoming to get rid of these machines. If the machine were to go down, we would have to MacGyver it basically back into operation, and we're dealing with a large volume of poisonous gas that's not only poisonous, but it's also highly flammable in large quantities. And I've looked at the machine multiple times. It is showing its age. It's better that we just go the new direction that many communities around Wyoming have gone at this point. In the long run, it'll be more economical and more efficient for the city.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Is there introduction on this resolution?
I'll introduce the motion to pass.
Mr. Welling with the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Your Honor.
Mr. Schmidt seconding. Discussion.
If there's anything, like we discussed, if there's anything that we can do to make the transition for the staff easier, whether that's providing equipment, education, the job that they do is, for our animal control, is exemplary, and any type of change is difficult, but especially involving something of this nature, and want the staff to know that there are resources and there are that we can provide and help with this transition so they feel safe and they are not stressed. And so anything that we can do, please share with us, and we will do our absolute best to get the staff what they need and the tools that they need and the education that they may require to adapt to this new form of one of the most horrible parts of life. But it's a reality, and it is a incredible human being that takes on that task with such grace and valor as our animal control. So that is what I would like to say to them.
Further discussion?
You guys going to be able to still get things done that need to get done, I guess?
Your Honor, Council Member Lind, we do not euthanize that many animals. In 2024, we did look the numbers up, and I believe it's 36 dogs and 20 cats. The reality is some animals are just too sick or too vicious to be adopted. I believe our staff does everything they can to get every animal adopted. We do get a lot of feral cats in this community. We do have the equipment in place to go another direction at this time. We're still expanding our capabilities, and we have done everything we can to get these animals adopted. I just wish the public would spend more time spaying and neutering and taking some responsibility.
Just worry about the employees we have, and at the same time, doing things as humane as possible, I guess. So,
Your Honor, Councilmember Lind, we are. I have confidence in our employees. I know it's not a positive change for them. It's not a direction they want to go. The gas chamber, they felt, and I agreed, was a more gentle form of euthanization than using the shot. But we are. I have been approached by some experts that are veterinarian technicians, and I'm going to continue the conversation with them, probably maybe discussing about possibility for even professional services to handle this, to try to be as humane as possible.
okay.
Further discussion? There is none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have anything more? We'll go to comments from departments. Chief Granish, do you have anything more for us tonight at all, sir?
No, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Larson, anything tonight? Thank you. Ms. Lynn? Ms. Harris? Mr. Harris?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Excellent. Public participation. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to address the council for any reason?
Jared Houghton, 234 Medicine Butte, Unit B. Mr. Lind, did I hear you call this tax that we're voting on a 1 penny tax or 1 cent tax?
I refer to it as a penny tax, yeah.
Okay. Who here also believes it's a 1 penny tax, a 1 cent tax, or a 6 cents tax? Okay.
That's what it is.
It's a 1% tax. I mean, there's a big difference. I mean, if you're spending $1, then yeah, sure. But it's a 1% tax. Currently, sales tax is 5%. It's going to 6%. I personally believe it's a little bit, or it's a misrepresentation of what it is if you don't call it a 1% tax. I mean, I'm not implying that it's intentional. I just want to make sure that, everyone's aware it's a 1% tax, not a penny tax, not a 6 cents tax, because I've seen it quite a bit of places. It's a 1% tax.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yes, it is a 1% tax.
Thank you. That's it. That's all I got.
Because that is the way it's kind of been marketed. But yes, it is a 1%.
Well, I can tell you I believe the intent here is good, and there are many reasons why I voted against it, but the way that it's been represented in some cases is absolutely one of those reasons. So for future, when these things come up, to me, it would make more sense to present it as it is 1% tax. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Welcome. If you'll give us your name.
Lori Carlton, 1621 West Center. Mr. Davis, I'm not able to, it's difficult to hear you at the back when you're turned to the left facing the council. I guess you're further away from the mic and makes it difficult to hear.
Sorry.
Anyone else? If that's it, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Sellers, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Lynn seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.